Welcome back to DXB today. Bit of a sports special for you here today, as we are blessed by a whole host of sporting talent who are giving us some of the reasons that inspired them to think beyond their professional careers to their own professional careers after sport. Our next guest is a former professional football player who, of course, plied his trade in the Premier League. Norwich City, Bournemouth, West Ham, up at north of the border at Rangers. And when he hung up his boots, of course, he moved here to Dubai a few years ago to set up his own eponymous academy, the DG Academy, to help inspire future generations. Dale Gordon, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Tom. What an entrance.
You're looking very... Well, it said something else on the auto cue, but I thought that was
Always
unfair,
does.
what they said there.
Always does.
I bigged it up a bit, but absolute pleasure to have you here, both on DXB today, but also here in Dubai. I suppose that's my question, Dale, because, you know, with the Premier League experience you had and all the players that you played with and you played against, it always strikes me that when players get to the end of their careers, and a lot of people think, that's it, they're sorted for life. The truth and reality is there's a couple of pathways you can go down. Ordinarily, the coaching pathway, or of course the punditry pathway. But each of them come with their own challenges. You've gone down the coaching pathway. You've chosen not your native UK, Dubai. Do you think you could have had the extraordinary success that DG Academies had and the number of kids that you've had through the system if you'd set up elsewhere, or has Dubai been fairly unique for it?
Well, I mean, Dubai's been absolutely amazing. I mean, the whole coaching aspect from my point of view is that when I unfortunately got the injury when I was 28, I had sort of a 2-year transition of coming out of the playing the professional game to coaching. So my first initial coaching experience was actually going to Bournemouth. Yep. And I was there as a player coach, as the first team player coach, which then obviously set me up to, you know, going a little bit further. I would love to have stayed in the professional game, but circumstances didn't allow that. So the next step would have been obviously then, from my point of view, because I made my debut at 17 against Liverpool at home for Norwich City, I'd always remembered the coaching experience I had from when I was younger, in the younger years of my, you know, as I was growing up. And that really sort of set me up. And so when I finished at Bournemouth and then set my own academy up in the UK and then transitioned to Dubai, you know, it gives me so much satisfaction, it really does.
Yeah, why didn't you set up in Norwich, you know? Cold, wet,
Well, I did, but and it's one of those, it's one of those circumstances where it brought me to Dubai as well, and ever since I've you know, obviously been a resident of the UAE, first and foremost working for another academy and then setting my own one up after 3 years. It's just obviously it's so grateful, but also as well, it's just so heartwarming as well when you see the children as young as age 4 through to as age 15. You know, they all have their different characters as well, and you know, we only need one player to go through and to make it into the professional game. That makes everything worthwhile. I've been coaching for 25 years now.
And you know, as someone else who's trying to make positive change in young people's lives, what would you say, you've obviously had success doing this already, makes a great coach or great academy for these young people?
Well, from a personal point of view, as we mentioned, that, you know, regards to different age groups, I'm a great believer of when you do your own coaching academies that you have to coach, and I love coaching regardless if it's 4 years of age, like I said, or if it's 15. And the most important thing for my when I coach the children is to make sure that they play with, most importantly, they enjoy it. They play with a smile on their face. They're not afraid to make a mistake. If they make a mistake, it doesn't matter. Just carry on and just obviously try to rectify that mistake. And if you can't do it, you practice and you go back and you try again. But it's also as well from a coach's point of view. I remember growing up and how I got coached. So I think it's from my point of view to make sure that the children are coached the way I was coached, and that hopefully will breed confidence within not just the training but also as well when they go to match days as well.
And I was curious, like after the children finish their coaching with you and go to their universities, does that affect where they want to go, and so that they can pursue a career in the field?
Yeah, I mean we've had boys that from when they were 8 and 9 years of age, and we've taken them all the way through to like 16 and 17, And yes, it's one of those ones that not all going to be professional footballers. They have the ambitions and drive and aspirations to try to make it in the professional game, but if they can't, of course, they go into universities. And we've had a number of boys that have obviously travelled when they've left the UAE and had that transition into universities. And from that point of view, I don't see them as a failure, I see them as a success, because they're still able to obviously pursue their educational, but also as well their sporting as well. We took 3 or 4 boys, actually 4 boys back to the UK 3 years ago, to Ipswich Town Football Club, who are now playing in the Premier League in the UK, and Ipswich actually wanted, not for much longer though, that's for sure. But their youth set up their academy. Before we got there, they actually beat Liverpool in the quarterfinals of the FA Youth Cup, and our boys were just in awe of that environment, to be around that. And the coaches loved 2 of the boys that much, they wanted to invite them back as well. So it shows you though, you have those dreams, those ambitions, but also as well to take the groups of children back into Europe for them to experience, the professional environment is just so satisfying.
Look, Dale, they say it takes a village to raise a kid. So when it comes to, you've seen a massive shift in the way parents are parenting. When I was training, my dad would drop me off to my academy and that was it. He'll pick me up later on. But now you're seeing parents who are deeply, deeply involved, right? I think
Yes.
they like to call it conscious parenting as well. But when we're speaking about this, look, there's the academy, there's the coaches, and there's the individual. But then it's when they go home, the work doesn't stop. That same ethos, that same discipline continues. So how are you working to ensure that is all seamless and you're all working in synergy?
Wow, I mean, I always remember like after you finish the game and then all of a sudden you're in the car on the way home and you've got your dad and giving you as if he knows best sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's important, that we try to install into our players that obviously when they finish the game as well, that go home, just be around that family environment, but also as well just remember what just happened in the last hour. So therefore, don't just throw the boots down on the floor and get your parents, expect them to clean the boots and things like that. It's part of your responsibility as well. So that, to install those sort of values in the players, it's so important. And as you mentioned about the parents on the touchlines, we hear stories from all over the world really, but what I've mostly seen, especially as the game has grown at grassroots football here in Dubai, of course it comes with more parents on the touchline, it comes with more pressure as well. But you have to instill the fact that parents, from my point of view, the parents are there to support the children, not to command and demand. It's about encouragement as well. So, and hopefully that will take itself away from the game, obviously into the home life as well.
You coming to the end of the year for DJ Academy, or do you go all year round?
We are coming to the end. Yeah, we're into term 3 now, into the 3rd week of term 3. So we go all the way up to the end of the school year, and then we will break for the summer, and we'll do some travelling. If we have the opportunity to take some children back to the UK for trials, then this is the opportunity, obviously, in term 3 to give them that chance as well.
And, I'm still a competing athlete, hopefully going to LA, like I said earlier on.
Can we come?
Absolutely, I need all the support I can get. But
Can I come with
that transition from professional sport to a completely different career, loads of sports people, we'll both know, really struggle with it. How did you find it? How did you make it seamless? Obviously the move out here probably played a big role. Is there any kind of words of advice that you could pass on?
Well, as I mentioned earlier on, I had 2 years for that transition. So I felt that even though I came out of the professional game, I still felt I was still involved with it because I had that 2-year break, even because I was still around the professional game as well. So even having that sort of like that break away from the professional environment, going into, if we say like, just a job. It was going back to grassroots. It was going back to school for me. All I can really sort of suggest is the fact that, for me, is to whoever footballers there are in whatever profession they are, is to is to embrace it and enjoy it, and don't feel that you're out of the professional game, whichever involvement in whatever sport you are. You just have to embrace it and believe in what you do, and of course your dreams will still be there.
I hear it time and time again, and speaking to a lot of sort of former sports stars, I think it's almost that you need that buffer zone, don't you? You need that couple of years to fall in love with your sport again, because a lot of people come out of their sport absolutely go, I'll never watch it again. The number of footballers I've heard of, I can never watch another game again, another game of rugby, etc. And yet time, then you start realising what you love about the sport and why you gave so much of it too.
Yeah, I think so. Also, you know, sport's so intense, but also when you're a sports person, you're the centre of this incredible world where everyone's trying to perform in the best possible way. And then you finish, you step away, and all of a sudden it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the stories that I've heard from kind of ex-sports people. So to be able to start again, still have a love for the sport, and start completely, like you said, grassroots in a whole new field, that's not easy.
Dale, I want to thank you so much for joining us. How lucky are we, hey? Ex-professional athletes and current. It's been a pleasure, and we hope to see you back here very, very soon. But for now, over to Matha for DXB in 60.
That's right, Nimi, it's time for DXP in 60. So Tom, we have a series of questions to get to know you better, but you have to answer them all within 60 seconds.
Okay.
But don't worry, it's all about you.
All right,
So pressure off.
Right, it's a freestyle swimmer, man. You can do everything quickly.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, so let's put the clock on the screen, and 3, 2, 1. What's the hardest thing that you have had to give up to be a professional swimmer?
Oh, staying up late, definitely.
Your motto in life and in work.
My what, sorry?
Your motto in life and in work.
Oh, you get out what you put in.
If you could have an AI assistant, what task would you want them to handle?
Oh, I don't know, sorting the perfect playlist when I'm driving to training.
If you could have dinner with anyone dead or alive, who would it be?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I'm going to say Michael Phelps, swimmer.
Nice. Best part about what you do?
Travel.
The most memorable moments so far in your career?
Probably winning my first Olympic gold.
Nice. Your go-to restaurant in Dubai?
Ooh, I haven't tried enough yet. I need some more recommendations.
We'll give you one after. A book, movie, a book, movie, or series you recommend?
Oh, I'm watching Black Mirror at the moment, which is really good.
Nice, that's a good one. A superpower you wish you had?
Ooh, oh, it's got to be flight, hasn't it? Fly home, yeah.
And finally, what goal do you want accomplished this year?
Ooh, this year, spend more time out here, for sure.
That's an easy one. Listen, it's been an absolute pleasure having you with us here. If I can give, you did very well against, you actually beat the clock there. You know, there's a man,
Loads of time.
There's a man who goes, when the starting gun goes, he flies, that's for sure. All the best for the forthcoming year, for the forthcoming season. All the best for that build-up to LA as well. We'll be watching them with interest. Obviously, the door's always open here, so do come on here. One bit of advice, if you're looking for lunch recommendations, do not go out with Dale Gordon for lunch, okay? All right? He's going to lead you astray, that's for sure. That's for
lunch
sure.
dinner as
There
well.
we go.
Dale, great to see you as always, my friend. Thank you very much indeed. Dubai's a better place for having you in it, so thank you so much indeed for being with us. Listen, we're going to let these guys go and trade stories in the green room, but in the meantime, we're going to ask you to stick around. Why? Because we've got Maria who's going to be playing us out in just a few moments' time. Do stay with us.